Hey everybody, this is Rizion, a React developer with 5 years of experience, and today I want to share with you how I do snackbar or toast components, ones that pop up at the bottom of the screen, and hopefully you'll find some useful patterns that you can take and add to your own project. So let's jump. I use snackbars a lot at Increaser because I believe it's better to over communicate than leave user confused. And of course, it's very easy to use. Rather than creating a lot of different components, I could always just open Snackbar and put the text. That's it. Let's check an example. So here we have a break component. So user took a 30-minute break, and then he wants to check settings and change some. So I don't want to have the sound on a break finish. So I click here and I say, okay, we won't tell you once the break is over. Instead of showing this cross button, I decided to go with progress line because it's obvious that the snack bar will disappear once the progress line is filled, so it doesn't force a person to press on the cross sign. Now let's see how it's all done. So what is snack bar? Snack bar is an object that has text. We want to know when it was opened and for how long should we show it. Okay, then we have a snack bar placement. It could be either at the bottom or at the top. Wouldn't it be weird when the snack bar is at the top? It only happens when you use it on mobile phone. So on the mobile phone, it will take the full width of the screen and will appear at the top. Okay, so that's about the basic data structure. Then we have this component called snack bar renderer. It will render the snack bar. And here we take the current snack bar and close snack bar by using a hook. We'll look into it a bit later. Then we check if the screen is small or not by using this hook. And then based on that, we decide either to show it at the top or at the bottom. We want to close snack bar on location change, so if it appears on one page but then the user clicked on another page, we don't want to still show the snack bar. And again, but how we close snack bar? Here we have this use effect, and super simple. We create the timeout, and on the amount we clear timeout. Very easy. And then we have the snack bar placer. And it's basically fixed container that appears either at the top or at the bottom. And then, as we can see here, inside of this placer, we have a snack bar component. It will receive this snack bar information and placement. Then in the container, we will use this placement to decide either to show it full width or to have min width. And also we will have animation. So it's called get vertical move animation. It's tricky to come up with a proper name for this, but let's check it out. Here we have only one parameter called offset. Once again, let's check it here. If it goes from the top to the bottom, the parameter is negative. When it goes from bottom to the top, offset is positive. Again, on the example, we press here, it goes from bottom to the top. Why? Because we use here keyframes. Okay? And because we know that coordinates go from the left top corner, if it's positive, it appears lower, right? Again, transform is a little bit lower, so this value would be translate y 48, and then it's 0, so it goes up. And we have a little bit of opacity to make it a bit nicer. Then there's a bunch of styles. I talked about colors in different videos. We have a shadow, we align elements on the center, nothing special here. Let's go to the progress line. We receive started at and duration. And then we have a relative container. Inside of it, we have an absolute element that goes from 0 to full width. To do that, we use getProgress animation that receives the number just to make a render happen, right? So that when start at changes, we want to change this animation to force re-render in that scenario. And then we use regular linear transition. Now let's talk about the state. We use this use Snackbar hook, and at Increaser I still use Redux for the global state because I started the project quite some time ago, so there were not that many alternatives. At my recent project called Ambimate, I use React Context and it shares the same hook. So because I had everything behind a hook, it doesn't matter what state provider I use in both projects because it's hidden behind this API in forms of the hook. Here we take current Snackbar by using useSelector. We use dispatch and we use flow from Lodash to first call open Snackbar and then path the result to the dispatch. It just looks nicer. In terms of actions, here we have open Snackbar and close Snackbar. Open Snackbar reuses parameters from Snackbar info, but only text is required. And the reducer itself, here we only have current Snackbar that either information or null when it's nothing. Default state is null. Default Snackbar duration is 5 seconds. And then we have create Snackbar reducer. And here we listen for open Snackbar action and close Snackbar. And when we open Snackbar, we set current Snackbar to this shape. And on close Snackbar, we set current Snackbar to null. Where do we render Snackbar render? It happens in the overlay component. Basically, overlay component is just component with a bunch of elements that pop ups like modals, onboarding, stuff like that. I don't even want to show it. It's just like an old component with JavaScript, so it's not worth checking, but that's how it's done. And the same could be applied using React Context that I used at Ambimate, but again, with this structure, I also still use Redux Saga, and in that case, if I would use context, I won't be able to access the state because Saga is completely outside of components. So here I still stick to reducers and it works well. So that's all. Hope you found something useful and stay productive.